more people. And people are really accepting the First Fridays, and I'd like to see them enhance and go forward. So I'm going to support this extra $5,000.
And that $5,000 would be an extra $1,000 for each one of the First Fridays that would go towards a new, what?
It's for the extra.
Yeah.
Sure.
That was my understanding is why they requested it.
I'll be a thorn in the side, I guess. Imagine that, huh? I agree that First Friday's fun. I've probably attended all, but maybe one of them. But I see like, and I said this when they were up here in Main Street, that to be more inclusive, and I just don't see that from them yet. So I'm gonna be a no on it, because I wanna see them be more inclusive before I increase it, because they capitalize, the Bradleys, nothing against them, they capitalize on this more than anybody. So I'm gonna be a no.
One of the things that I think that for First Fridays, they have a captive audience that has now been proven to come time and time again. So I think that it would be advisable to say that they should either raise their rates or look at other ways to monetize the event itself while still maintaining it free to the public. I realize that I'm asking for two very difficult things, but I think that with the food trucks that are showing up, with the people that are being vendors into an open area, there are ways to capitalize and get the extra funds that they're requesting or needing to make the events better or bigger without coming back to the city for those funds.
Does Metro Main Street and beyond get a percentage of the sales?
You know, I'm glad you asked that question, because they're not in the business of making money, and any Mitchell Main Street and beyond, that, like, they have money that comes in, and who's the liaison now?
Dan is.
Okay, but, so they have money that comes in, but they just put it right back out into the next events that they're sponsoring. So it's just it's not like they're stockpiling money off to the side. So, I think that's been one of my things that I've said about Mitchell Main Street and beyond all along, is that, they're putting on these parades, and it's not like they're making extra money, no one's getting rich over there. It's just something that they're doing just 100% for our community. So, I mean, in my opinion, they've got sponsorships, but like Jeff said, the cost of entertainment goes up and the cost of just doing business increases. And, once again, their motivation for this is not to stockpile cash, but to just be able to present a better product for our community.
Well, I'd be interested to see what their ideas for raising some money is. Other than coming to the city, say 50, or 35, let's go 50.
They only charge, if I remember right, they charge $250 to be a gold sponsor. That's cheap. That is cheap to advertise for $250 and say, I think Jensen Design Build did it when he got away with $250 to do what he did. That's a steal.
I think that it's more than that. I'm drawing back on my previous experience as their liaison, but I think it's higher. I want to say 1,000, but.
No, it's not. I remember what she
No?
said.
Okay.
It was nothing. I remember when she said it, I'm like, that's nothing.
I think that the advertisement could go up, especially if you're talking about it to bring better acts in, then the better acts should draw a higher revenue source from the people that are sponsoring it, in my opinion. And I'm not trying to say that they're making money, but what I'm saying is that I think that the events themselves should be self-sustaining, and that would be the end goal of that enterprise, in my opinion, is that First Fridays themselves should become a self-sustaining venture with whatever level of or acts that you're doing. And this isn't unique to just them. I've had similar conversations with Doug Greenway about the Corn Palace Festival and using and having acts that are self-sustaining, so that way it's not the city delving out cash to put on concerts and events, because I don't think that's a good use of taxpayer dollars.
So it looks like First Fridays, their expense budget is 9,000 and their revenue is 9,500.
I would just, one of the things that we talk about over and over is quality of life and what it's going to take to get people to move here and want to raise their families here and work here. And this, what Mitchell Main Street's primary objective and what they do every day of the year that they're working is presenting a better quality of life for the people that live here. And I think those are the kinds of things that people look at when they're coming to look at a community. And I think you come to Mitchell, South Dakota, and you see a First Friday event, and you're like, this is great. And I just want to, I think, there's a difference between a really quality music group and one that's more homespun, I think. So I think let's give them a jump start. Let's give them the extra $5,000 this year, and let's see what they can do with it.
They asked for 50, and you're looking at 40, Susan, right?
We had a motion by Jeff, second by Susan, right?
Can I just
Yep.
ask a question? So my question would be, if you are wanting to do it so that you can increase the level of entertainment that we're offering to the general public, do you think maybe that might come out of entertainment tax fund instead of general fund?
Absolutely. Do we, yeah.
I don't know, I'm just asking.
The only thing that's going to do is take it away from the Corn Palace,
Well, that's probably true in the future.
which we're already losing.
Yeah, that's true.
Then it's going to be general fund in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Well, like I said,
If Corn Palace was self-supporting.
Yeah, we're getting closer.
well, they were asking for 50, and obviously we're not going to that level that they're asking for. And I think been quite aggressive over there. I love what they've been doing downtown. I know the business owners are appreciating it a lot more. And I guess what we're seeing downtown on Main Street is people finally investing in our downtown community. Not that they haven't done over the years, but it just seems like a lot of business owners are getting very, very aggressive on funding money downtown. And I'm not saying it just because of Mitchell Main Street Beyond, but it is part of the entity that is making people say, hey, let's get something down here a little bit better. So I'm good with the 40,000 around that. So.
Yeah, I one of the things I wonder if Jeff and I were both at the chamber event last Thursday night. I don't know if you picked up on this, but when they got up to present what they'd done over the year before they gave the award to Jeff Logan, one of the things they said was that all of the money that they have in their revolving fund loan is currently out, which is incredible. Like, I can remember when I first was the liaison, they had a balance that people weren't using it. And now they have all the money that's being lent, that is being used in that revolving fund. And I think that's fabulous. In fact, if we ever have a little extra cash that we could set aside and say, here's some more money that you can put in for your revolving loan fund, I would think that would be a really great thing. But I think you're exactly right. I mean, they're making things happen, so.
Well, and to Marty's point, if they're asking for 50, they had a reason why they were going to expend all the money. Therefore, they have to raise more money, as Tim pointed out, either in memberships or in fees as they go, because they obviously had their budget that they wanted a 50 from us. If we don't give them 10 of that 50, then they have to go out and either cut, or they're going to have to raise the money. So we can challenge them.
As you had noticed that they were requesting 50, but they settled, or we offered 35 at this point. In 23 it was 35, it was 35 the year before, and they seemed to survive. So why not come in and ask for 50? So my point is,
I think they've actually asked for 50,000 every year.
well, they were
All right.
And I think the point is that costs are going up.
Pam's, when we started this, I was at the Corn Palace, and we were paying them $50 to get up on the rooftop or balcony of the Corn Palace. $50, that's all we had, take it or leave it. Like Weston Frank was just started, he did 2 of them. $50. I said, that's what we got, that's what you're gonna do. And that was the first year of it. Every Thursday. Thursday. Started out first Thursday. Every Thursday, there wasn't men's night. So, and then when you stand up there, and they had some nights, I had to put fans out. Now picture 95 degrees humid, and they're facing the sun. And they're up in that. Yeah, $50. Billy Lurkin played, they all played for 50. They wanted to play in the Corn Palace, they wanted to be the first one. Well, we just asked Weston Frank next year for a street dance, 5,000 starting. There's where bands have went. You know, I mean, if you want to get different or better entertainment, you can't touch anybody for under 2,000 or 3,000. If they're doing it on a Friday night. You can get some that just want to play at the Corn Palace. They're doing it as a donation. And, I mean, bands are just ridiculous right now, the price. But I think it's money well spent. I think First Fridays is good. John Foster and his daughter, they were supporting this at the meeting, and they get nothing out of it. Maybe a few people heading that way afterwards. They were supporting First Fridays. You know, they've done a lot of good things, man. They've started some, since they used to be in my building, rent to them. And before they moved to the Corn Palace. And the two girls they got now, they got the fundraisers going. They've started so many new ones that, you know, Oktoberfest, you're talking, they were taking over the Rib Fest or whatever, the Memorial Weekend one. You know, they supply the labor of it. And all of a sudden they're in Carmel Apples. I mean, they sold Carmel Apples one night for them. They needed they're 50/50, so they needed some workers. And they do a lot of work. They do a lot of stuff. They're really good for the town. And as far as the businesses, you know, it's going to be up to 60,000+, depends on the new evaluations come out. And what they're going to be sticking back into, I don't know if that's part of their budget, is why he's bringing it up.
No, that's separate.
That is not, okay. I was going to say, well, a lot of that money is you talk about the revolving loan.
But, yeah, they do put Main Street money into streetscape stuff in addition to the bid money they're putting in.
So, anyway, so I'm in favor of it. I think it's a great organization. Now they've been at their meetings, you know, and, you know, I think what they're doing is really good for Mitchell. I think it's good for exposing downtown. And I don't know if you guys ever been to a First Fridays in Sioux Falls, but it is growing. In the last 10 years, you ain't nobody unless you go there. Now it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, every night, every weekend. And with live bands and that, whatever they call that, by the falls. But it's a good thing. They got her going in the right direction, so I'm going to support this.
Anything else? But Jeff's the one that made the motion a long time ago, wasn't it?
Susan
Yeah, she's
seconded
got it.
by
And then
Jeff.
Susan seconded it.
Yeah. No, it was Susan, seconded by Jeff.
Okay.
I got it up top.
She's got it on the.
All right. We'll do roll call.
Bathke,
No.
Barrington.
Aye.
Dosher. McCardle.
Nay.
Sabers.
Aye.
Goldammer.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Sharks. Aye.
5-3.
5-3.
Who was it? Barrington said yes. No. Yes.
Barrington said-
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Hold on. Go ahead, you can start.
I'll make it easy for you. I'm the only one who said yes on the side.
Okay, thank you. I'll just take Barrington after.
Anything else?
Now, we're gonna come back then in November and.
So 1 second, I'm still slow, sorry. McCardle, okay. Kit, Cardinal, and then yeses were just
Everybody else.
Barrington and everyone else. Okay, good. It is up to you. If everybody is okay with the remainder of the budget as proposed, then we won't need to meet until the hearings in November. If you want to have another meeting, I did have you tentatively hold October 30th, but if we don't need it, we don't need to come in. That's up to council. And if you want to, we could, even for the next agenda, do we have one more in October?
No, we're done.
Okay.
Well, we have the special meeting next month.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
Monday we have.
At one of the meetings in November, we'll schedule the golf course to come in with the equipment request for 2025 with the permission to move forward with the purchase, so you guys can have that discussion as
So
well.
Monday's the auction, correct?
Yeah, that
The
starts
23rd,
at 3
yes.
o'clock, correct? And we meet immediately afterwards.
No, you,
I think it's 3.
I think it was.
Doug said it's 3.
your meeting is scheduled for 6 o'clock. And then, right? Didn't we say 6 o'clock or immediately?
So,
Okay, it might be 5:30. Hold on.
I have 3 to 5:30 written down, but that doesn't.
Well, he said he thought the auction would be done at 5:30 and that we would convene or meet immediately after the auction concludes. But we're going to have a time to publish. So if I publish 5:30 and they're not done yet, is that okay?
Yeah.
We'll just wait until they are done.
Or immediately after the auction.
Okay, so, but we still have to publish the time. So we'll set it for 5:30. If they're not quite done, we'll wait till they're done and then we'll convene. Does that work? Yeah.
we'll be here at 5:30 and
Or if you want to do the auction.
Yeah, so this is the formal reminder to come and spend your money on the 23rd at the Corn Palace. There's lots of great lots. That's the plug at the end of the.
Actually, yeah, you want to make sure you don't have to be there for the first round, but you want to make the second round.
Or maybe you do want to be there. It might be interesting.
I don't know how we can not
I'm
be
looking
there.
for the popcorn, everything else is going to the
then we're adjourned.